let's also now move to what's taking place in Texas. We have been talking about this. We brought up this law, SB8, I believe it is, in Texas when it passed months ago. And SB8 says that the law was passed, and it's a little bit complicated because this was done with a specific intent to protect it from federal court intervention. The law was passed that said it is illegal to abet an abortion. And so that means that if you are an abortion provider, you're abetting abortion. If you are a taxi cab driver or an Uber driver driving somebody to get an abortion, you're abetting an abortion. If you have, if you're an NGO that provides, subsidies or help or advice.
If you're a family member that drives the woman to her appointment.
But the law also prevents Texas state government officials from enforcing the law. Instead, it empowers anybody, not just Texas citizens, but anybody, to go in and sue somebody for abetting someone's abortion with the financial incentive of winning $10,000 worth of damages against them and attorney fees. Anybody can do this.
You have standing. You have standing. You have standing.
Heritage Foundation has standing. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
And the reason why they did this is because when you are suing, suing or looking for redress on a law that is passed in a state that is unconstitutional, because the Supreme Court has deemed that it is unconstitutional to ban abortion, before 22 to 24 weeks or fetal viability. It is a unconstitutional abridgment of a woman's right to an abortion. What will happen is generally they will sue. Plaintiffs will sue. Someone who wants an abortion will sue a state official to make that question rise into or enter into federal courts and be addressed. In fact, there is a Supreme Court case that they're going to hear this year. I think it's coming from Mississippi.
Yeah, it's a
that is a 15 weeks.
15 weeks, right?
15-week ban, or after 15 weeks, abortion is banned, and it's a test of Roe v. Wade. But this Texas case came up. A district court in Texas, federal district court, judge enjoined this law from taking effect as of September 1. But the Fifth Circuit, which is a very conservative federal circuit, not only vacated the district court's enjoinment of this law, but then canceled the hearing altogether that he had scheduled to actually review the case.
That was Friday. It goes to the Supreme Court, or I should say petitioners. People are trying to protect a woman's right to choose in Texas. Go to the Supreme Court and say, we need an emergency injunction here. And the Supreme Court, unlike they did when it was the Remain in Mexico policy question, unlike when they did when it was time to overturn the eviction moratorium, they decided we're going to let this one go. And so today in Texas, there is no more Roe v. Wade protection for women. It is over. This is a binary question in Texas as of today. Roe v. Wade protections are that a woman has a right to an abortion up to 22 to 24 weeks from conception. And in Texas, that is no longer operative.
it is the Supreme Court, I think, has this on their docket, maybe in the near future.
Maybe they address it in the context of the Mississippi case.
We shall see what happens. But people should understand this is, and this was completely predictable. It was predictable the moment that Ginsburg died. Frankly, it was predictable the moment, in many respects, the moment that Donald Trump won the election. It was predictable before he won the election. I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the shoulder here because it wasn't terribly, you didn't need to be a soothsayer to see this. But we predicted it when I sat in the seat 6 years ago.
People can look that up, Jimmy Dore debate. But the like repercussions of this, I just think can't be understood, can't be overstated. Because this 6-week threshold, say you're 16 and you don't necessarily have familiarity with your period yet, right? Periods don't come on the dot for some of the men watching every 4 weeks. Sometimes it varies from woman to woman. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. Say your period is infrequent in that way. You might not know you're pregnant for 6 weeks. At the very least, even with somebody who is more in tune with these kinds of things, you may not know that you're pregnant. Like at minimum, I would say 5 weeks is when you start to get concerned, a week after your missed period. So that means that there are going to be countless young women and girls who may be sexually active, who may have been assaulted. There's no exception for incest or rape in this provision, in this law, who are just not going to be able to get abortions, and that's the design of it. A 6-week threshold is virtually impossible to notice and schedule for a woman's health. It's just not, it's not possible.
It's worse than that, though, because what happens is if you have a case that is won by someone who brings this abetting case, the abortion provider is shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And there's only so many abortion providers in Texas. And so it's not going to be long before even the 6-week threshold is irrelevant because there are no abortion providers in Texas.
They're already they're being quoted in the New Republic. These abortion providers are saying that this woman said 80% of the people calling in are asking if abortion's even legal in the state anymore, and that they're seeing this kind of chilling effect happen already.
Right. But the abortion clinics themselves, they're all going to be shut down. It's just going to be a matter of months. They're all going to be shut down. You will not be able to get an abortion in Texas.
Luckily, it's a small state and you could just go to the nearby states, right? I mean, like this has massive ramifications as we already but yeah.
But there it is. I mean, and no one is more cynical. Well, I'm sure there are people, we've had them on, who are more cynical about the functioning of the Supreme Court. It is an unelected body that has the ability, as we can see, to essentially create laws, change the laws, dictate massive changes to our society, or that implicate our daily lives. And when right-wingers complain that 9 people said it was okay to have abortions, in many respects, they're correct. This is a feature of American politics. It would be great if it wasn't, in my estimation, or at least that it was curbed, and there are means in which we could theoretically do that. But the other reality is it is real. And so when you contemplate, at least to the extent that you engage in electoral politics, this is one of the major implications. And it does not stop with abortion, as we just saw with the eviction moratorium, as we saw with the Remain in Mexico, and in countless other cases that we're not even aware of that are, frankly, a little bit more nuanced.
If we want to pass Medicare for all, you think that there's not going to be a well-funded legal challenge by the Heritage Foundation, by Big Pharma, by these insurance companies to challenge Medicare for all? If you don't think that, you don't understand what's the power of right-wing money and what it's going to do to combat a single-payer healthcare system.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.